What color is our future language? In the future, we will only see it as blue. It might be yours or mine. Either way, it will be blue, the color that never was. Long ago, we saw the sea as purple, in other parts, a bright green. Ask anyone in Asia. Blue is new. The sky is a void, and the sea can be orange. In the Museum of Future Memories, a certain kind of blue language blooms once a year. It's like those flowers who wait for the night to fall to grow without a glimpse. I found this fragment glowing bright. On my way to the moon, I fell in love with the sea. Sea tree, what do you see? I see the monstrous deep invasions, sea monsters, sky monsters. Do they make the waves, construct the cycles? Will the wind wind? Will the wind win? The wind that smashes against rocks, dries tendrils and cheeks, suspends time, smash, smash as we walk between stones. Suspended language is in a state of elongation, expanding life. If you dry the cod, it can last years, 10 or more. If the world is at the edge of sea and sky, then suspension is vital for survival or play. Play is a form of being. A being is a kind of species. We are species suspended in time and space, trying to remember to see language. Here, we cut tongues. Does this mean we remove the language of the fish? What about our own? Maybe our bodies have more to say than our tongues. Invasive species. You remind me that I am not from here. The future is the experience of migration, a kind of exchange. In the past, we traded reindeer for penguins. Our friendship is nations linked by cartoon animals. If a penguin is a bird, then how could it invade our yard? It was done away with. The reindeer still roam. Orca, herring, fin whale gather in winter. Fish are in constant motion. I watch them on the shark cam, online, free, anytime. The fish move fast and fluid in yellow blurs. Does the bright light of the camera agitate them, like a sun, making us restless? The water is murky. Do I believe it? The camera? I wait for the lights to flicker. In the sea, what happens below? Sea trees live. Wolf fish indicate the health of bottom dwellers, such as cod. If the cod is at the bottom and brought up to dry, then what is our dividing line? If the horizon line is not there, the red, the black, the lists of species below and above do not belong. They invade. If blue is the newest color, what is the oldest? We rub sand, coral, and soil. We try and remember red. The fish camera is frozen. All I see are black circles for eyes, seeing me back. The chalk vertebrae take longer to grow when the water contains more acid. Is chalk outside our color spectrum, like the sky? We took a long time to name it blue. Before, it was simply space, free of the weightiness of color. Without shrimp, there's no fish. Without fish, there's no us. I remember the first blue. Ink, poems, and language that is no longer mine. Once true, now wild. It takes a week to remove tentacles and spikes from sea urchins. I am left with a pink sphere dotted with bright white lines. Genetic structure appears to be strongly influenced by ocean current patterns. We study the shrimp and then we eat it. Once we amass language, it does not become whole, but retains its fragments. Its natural desire is to mutate. When the language blooms, it's dispersed, happy, thriving. The minds made the color. It was not found. We found it. It takes 12,000 shellfish to make 1.4 grams. of tear purple. How many tongues does it take to make a color? How many seas until we see? Does color only happen as a kind of exchange? Collective? Is it like language? Is there no private color? If I hold the rock, does its rockness matter more than its color? To be is not to have a name. To name is to become. In the future, we will only have tongues. We will weave, eat, and preserve the tongues in hopes of preserving language. What does it mean to look for blue? Is it about prescience? The tapping into the possible, the not yet named or seen? If blue is the horizon of colors, will it appear infinitely? The blue screen is not the final frontier. Please tell me it is not the final frontier. We use to dye fabric. The dye is not permanent, ingested. It is healing against inflammation. We eat color to heal. Color is sacred because it takes time to grind, pull, dissolve, mix, and seal. Is language sacred? How many tongues can you pull out in a day? I will pay you. Blue is thought to be synthetic, invented. Is language the same? Sometimes it cannot be seen but needs a bright light to be made visible. Blue invites the light in. The light whisks away the unwanted, the murky. A blueprint is a map exposed to light. The guide is formed by markings and lines. We read it, we believe it. We believe it will come into being, to be built. Marking a paper with blue pencil makes it impossible to copy. Prints that have faded from prolonged exposure to light can be restored to their original tone by simply, temporarily storing them in a dark environment. I am caught in the algae. Looking for blue is a search for a future language. Will salt preserve us?